Hello and welcome to the BIM Beyond Border. Today we are hosting Ammar Saud, the Senior BIM Manager, very famous in the region, and let's talk about his experiences and all. So hi Ammar, welcome to BIM Beyond Borders.
Hello, Nadim. Welcome. Thank you. It's a great initiative, and I'm really excited to share knowledge today. And thank you for the opportunity.
So let's start with your experience first. How did you start first with the BIM? How you dive into the BIM?
Actually, my story started a long time ago, and it was different like the new BIM experts when they like come to a project and they need to implement BIM because it is a need from the client or it is a requirement. For me, it was not requirement at all. There was no BIM on that project. I remember my first project, it was a design project, and I was designing a structural stair, and it was complex to make a lot of sections and to do some 3D using CAD tools. And the next project was a construction project when we faced issues on site. And I remember the story when it was like a finish, floor finish that has some services below that floor finish. And there was like clashes and sloped pipes and so on. So I remember in that time I didn't use BIM before, and I was saying, I'm sure that there will be a tool that can be used to save this, to save time and to solve these issues, rather than making section by section or trying to solve all of these issues. And luckily, next few days, I met someone and he explained to me about BIM concept and its tools. And I said, oh my God, this was the thing that we need in our project. So the word need is what we started from. The need is really was what drove me to implement BIM, to start to learn about BIM tools, start to learn how to coordinate and manage BIM models and so on. So that was the beginning of my story.
So was those the local projects or international?
It was local project, actually, small project, not a big project, but there was a need in that project.
And how you shifted yourself from your local market to the international market?
Yeah. So also gradually I started to develop myself on learning BIM tools, on try to implement that in my team, not only me, and by modeling projects like pilot projects. We started with a pilot project, and then we started to implement that on other projects in our local company. Later on, I joined another company which was local, but it was a tier one, when they have a lot of hospitals and hotels, when we need the coordination to be done in a good manner that will save efforts, minimize clashes, and so on. So in that on that organization and in that project, I developed myself to another level. Also, in parallel, I was giving some courses in the university for BIM tools, and also I learned from that. So learning from real projects and from also sharing knowledge with students, it was good to enhance my experience, because these students always have a lot of questions, and it will let me see the wider picture. So that was amazing to develop myself in that. So coming to the international organizations, of course, after that, and especially with the vision of 2030, so we see a big demand for BIM in the Giga projects.
Yeah.
So on that case, I transferred myself to this project, and trying to also not focus only on BIM. There was another another aspect of digital tools that can and digital technologies that can be used under the digital engineering umbrella.
Can you tell me that what exactly inspired you to join the digital construction rather than being on site? You told me that you was very much site guy initially. So what was the source of inspiration?
Yeah, I realized that when you have these skills of solving issues and using digital tools, you can serve more than one site. So, as I can use these abilities, so I transferred to technical office and started supporting more than one project, more than one site, to resolve their issues, to help them minimize rework and minimize waste.
Okay, and recently in last question you discussed about your certifications and live project things. So in your opinion, what exactly is much needed? Either a certificate or the live project? Means how, let's say if anyone from our viewers, a student from the university want to transform himself to a BIM professional, what is your advice how he or she can join this field?
Well, certificates are good, courses are good to learn, to meet the instructor and the students and challenge yourselves with the discussions and challenge yourself with the project that you will practice. However, when you have this certificate and you have this paper, it doesn't mean that you become expert and you get the skill. You need to practice on real projects. So what I always advise, especially students, I advise them to, when you have any course, please do it in a real project or try to do if you're learning modeling, try to do the model for that build for any building, and then make it in your portfolio that you made that design or you made that model and you learned from it, and then it will be add value to your CV and your experience, and then you can go to interviews, job interviews, and you can confidently talking about your experience or talking about your skills. But just holding this paper and think that you are you become expert on that tool or in that concept of BIM or GIS or whatever, it's not enough.
Okay, and for specifically the fresher graduates, would you recommend any specialization in BIM and digital engineering early on?
Fresh graduates always they have an advantage that they don't sometimes they don't know or they don't realize it, which is the ability to learn and the ability to practice many things or try to change, because senior experts always or senior professionals always like specialized on something and they don't want to change or they don't want to learn new thing, while fresh graduates always have this ability, so it's an advantage for them. And senior experts know that these fresh graduates has this ability, so they wanted them. And when this fresh graduate is passionate about using technology, so it's another thing. So you need to be also passionate, and then they can use this to get an add value to the team. So that will be a reason for them to be hired in projects. And of course, senior professionals will appreciate that. And I believe also another advice, I believe these fresh graduates should also learn from senior professionals, because these senior professionals have experience, they have this technical skills, so they need also to learn from it. Engineering skills, technical skills, they need to learn from it, and not like we are using this technology, so we are doing the work. No, you need to ensure that you are working well, you are working to help and support the project, not because I am just using this tool to make like a show or make like something that attract people. So I hope, yeah, I have like a message for fresh graduate.
So it's not only about tools, it's about the technology
Yeah.
or the technical knowledge they have earned
Exactly.
in their academic career, or
Yeah.
let's say academic time. So in addition to the same, I just want to add one more question. What should they focus on to stand out of this local or regional job market? How can they get the job as soon as possible? What should be their point of focus
We're talking about fresh graduates, right?
for fresh
Yeah.
graduates only?
So as I told you, when they learn something new, they need to make they need to make they need to add this to their experience by making portfolio. This portfolio shows how they are experienced on this tool or in using this technology. They can show that in their interviews. So when they are asked about technical technical details, they can answer it. Also, they can learn from the courses by discussing these technical things with their colleagues or with their instructors. So what I mean is not only attending courses, they need to practice. And for that, I always support the kind of courses that engage students with the instructor, that make projects and make it compulsory to finish or to deliver these projects, and so you can get the certificates. So these kind of certificates and courses is very important, that can help you get your way to the market.
Thank you, Ammar, for the clear explanation on
Yeah.
it. We just discussed about the technology, we talk about the certification. So let's talk about the technology side. So the tools we choose to shape the new way of the building, and especially in the mega projects in the region, what are your preferred platforms or tools for BIM and digital workflows?
Well, usually I don't like to mention names.
Yeah.
I like to mention categories.
Categories.
Yeah. So, for example, I like the tools that support construction sites and merge and combine the BIM models with the site real capture or reality capture. So some tools that you can compare between the design and what will be executed, or compare between the design and what was executed. These tools are very important and useful for the site, and it will help you manage the issues when there is some changes on site, when there is some thing that affects the design. So it's amazing tools that I always like. Also, I like the tools that have business intelligence abilities and visualizing the data, because BIM, for example, is all about data, all about information. And to visualize this information, you need to visualize it, and that tools like Power BI, for example, which will help decision makers to make decisions
Efficiently.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you evaluate that which technologies are worth adopting in a project? As you are very much working professional since I believe a decade you are been in this industry. So how you evaluate any tool for the project?
Yeah, actually, it's always depends on two things. If you're working on a project, so it depends on the project needs. So I know many people that like to use all the technology that they have learned in their projects, but it's always about the need, and also about the return of investment. Sometimes you're working on hotels, that means you need a lot of coordination because of many services, or you're working on hospitals. So you need to focus on coordination tools and the collaboration tools. Sometimes you're working on a project, small projects that don't need that amount of coordination. Sometimes you're working on towers that maybe it's hard to all the time to supervision team to go to all floors to check. So maybe reality capture will help them to make the reviews and make the checks. Always look at the project and its needs, and then evaluate what are the best tools that will serve the objectives and the needs for that project. That in the project level. If we're talking about organizations also, when you are implementing technologies in organizations, I always like to see the gaps first and see what we need to the team. What can enhance their productivity, what can reduce the waste of time, or what are the tasks that are taking the time of the team. So always in that way I can try to find the best tools.
Oh, thank you. Ammar, we just discussed about return of investment, ROIs. So, do you truly see a return on investment with digital technologies in Saudi projects? And is it the cost justified in your experience? I will prefer not to name any project, anything like that, but I'm just asking your experience.
Yeah, in my experience, ROI is something always about strategic vision. When you're talking about ROI, so you're talking about return that will come later on. For organizations, for example, later on you will feel how much it will help to make correct decision when you have implementing technologies and you have all of this, these models or all of these data are representative digitally, so you can easily make decisions. So that will help in the future rather than helping on delivering a project or something. Also in the project itself, you can find the best usage of the data is in facility management stage, when you want to manage the building and operate the building. So always it is the return of investment come later on. And also I should notice that sometimes the ROI, you don't need to calculate it or to have like a very well structured ROI. You just feel it. I'll give you an example. Like maybe previously when we was using cars, not before we were using planes. So maybe when we come to the plane and when they start to see that the plane is costing too much, maybe 10 times of car, so they are say, why there is no ROI here? But people get to use it because it saves time. It becomes natural. Also, when we talk about smartphones, smartphones now become natural. Although it is maybe 10 times higher cost than the previous like traditional phones. So I think day by day ROI just become like or let's say we're not watching or we don't have to look to ROIs always. We can just see the value and see how the technology is embedded in our life.
Okay, cool. So, next one. As you know, that future is unfolding very fast. It's evolving very fast. Where do you see BIM as a technology or process in market of Saudi Arabia in coming 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I see that the BIM and digital technologies are evolving day by day. So, for example, I can say that after 10 years, I believe the BIM will become like something that is that exists in every and each organization and project. I believe we will see a big use of AI, because once you have everything digitalized, when you see all of these buildings are representative in BIM, when you see all of the infrastructure and utilities representative in GIS, then you can utilize this data easily by implementing AI tools that will drive us to another new level of automation and getting the best results and making smart decisions. So that's what I think when you're talking about in 10 years.
Do you believe that are we moving towards the full automation at this point of movement, or the human factor is still in place, and in future will it be 100% automated or the human interface will be there?
Okay. Full automation is hard, I believe, although I believe in automation, but of course we need always a human effort. A human always has the ability to be creative, to guide the machines. So we are using the automation. I believe in automation, but it will not replace human. Of course we need always human efforts.
So automation, or let's say artificial intelligence, can be only used as a co-pilot, not a main pilot.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay,
Yeah,
agree with you. How do you personally stay updated with the new technologies and workflow? Any tips for our viewers on it?
All right, great. The great question, actually. I would like to give them some tips that I personally use and I saw that they are effective. First, I always try to become organized, and I always try to categorize the digital tools that I am using and the digital technologies that I'm using. So I have this list of digital tools categorized into main topics, like, for example, there are coordination tools, there are reality capture tools, business intelligence tools, GIS tools, and below of each category I have different tools. I named them in this list, and when I learn something new, when I saw something from, for example, Nadim and LinkedIn, he's mentioning some great tool, so I take this tool, put it in my list. I don't learn it, I just put it, and I do write a brief of about this tool, and that way I'm just make myself aware of tools. So always when you read something in social media or watch videos on YouTube or in any social media, you need just always to take the things that will attract you and put it in that list. Later on, as per your experience or your project needs, you may be interested to implement some of these tools in your project or organization. Then you need to learn it, and that is another level. So you have this list, some of them are like only in your wish list, but some of them are you need them, so it's a need or it's in the implementation phase. These tools you need to like open a new folder for them, or open a new presentation or notes in your computer and save them, and try to always put what you have learned, or try to put something about how do you practice on this. Try to implement them, and whatever you're learning, put in that folder. That will make you expert in that tools. So shortly, don't master every tool you get attracted with. Just put it in the list. Then whatever you choose for your project, start to learn.
Completely agree with you, Ammar. Basically, this is also one of my way of learning the new things. I do have some sort of the learning platforms where I do have the list, and it's more about the priorities, what exactly I want to learn in coming 2 or 3 months, and I keep learning on daily basis, and this is what I want to share with our watchers as well, and the industry newbies, let's say, or students, that keep learning on daily basis. At least an hour or 30 minutes a day can make a big impact. If you'll see after 1 year, there will be a big impact on your career.
because this is very important, by the way, because if you choose to follow this path of digital technologies, so you should be updated every day, because it is something that changes day by day, and you need to always get updated. One other thing is the conferences. The conferences is very important. The conferences are very important because you always learn from people from around the world. You meet other experts from the instructors or from the attendees. So you meet them and learn from each other, share knowledge, expand your expand your idea and expand your thinking about new possibilities. So conference is also a important key for being updated and for getting more advanced in your field.
So, Amar, as we are moving to our last segment of the questions, I keep receiving a lot of the messages on LinkedIn that I am a BIM modeler and I want to transform, I want to upgrade myself to BIM coordinator position, or I am a coordinator, I want to upgrade myself to BIM manager position. How these let's say professional can upgrade themselves to the next step, let's say starting from the BIM modeler to coordinator to BIM manager? What are your thoughts on it?
All right, that's a great question. When I was on site, I was also BIM modeler. So learning BIM modeling is a great thing that you have. So that's great that you know how to model and you know the details of modeling. Later on, you need also, of course, to upgrade yourself and get promoted. So on that time, you need to, for example, if you're gonna be BIM coordinator, you are working with different disciplines. So you need to understand first the technical issues. I always like to start from site, because sites has the issues, the real issues. So if you go to site and learn from site engineers and managers how they are resolving issues, the constructability, the different disciplines, what they have in their fields or in each discipline. So you need to master these things. Then also you need some collaboration and communication skills. On that way, you need to learn some. Then the software become later on when you learn this software that are used for coordination, for clash detection, for issue management. So these all combined will give you the ability to go to the next level. And of course, you need to be you need to have the initiative in your team. Sometimes nobody will tell you come and become BIM coordinator. You need always to be proactive and show how you can resolve issues, or show how can you discuss issues and manage them with the team. So this is the first part. The second part, how to go to the management level. So from BIM coordinator to BIM manager. Here you have also to after you practice the coordination, you need to know how to manage the team. Of course, you need to have leadership skills. You need to always engage your team. You are working for the sake of project, so always have this spirit of how we can resolve issues and how we can unify the standards. Coming to the standards, so of course you need to learn about the standards, implementing them, when we can be flexible, because not always we need to follow the standards. Sometimes some project needs we cannot follow, or we can use some specified standards for the project. So it's a combination of these skills and knowledge and technical skills from site that will upgrade you to BIM management. And of course, when you have this gradually developing yourself, you will be confident when you come to the new to the new position or to the new upgrade. While when I see some people writing in their CVs that they are BIM managers and they want like coming from like modeling jobs to BIM management jobs, or coming from another field to BIM management without making this gradual upgrade, they will face problems. They will not be confident to resolve issues. They will not be confident to manage the team. So this a bit of advice that come to my mind when you ask this question.
Agree with you. My question is from your answer again. You talk about the learning of the softwares, learning of the leadership skill for BIM management, let's say, learning of the BIM standards. What do you believe is the best platform or the source of learning the BIM standards like ISO 19650 series?
Look, I always also don't like to mention names rather than concepts. So when you're talking about standards, like ISO standards, I can always tell you, go to the people who take these certificates and ask them, did you practice like discussions during these certificates, or it was only like read something and make exam? Because I know that learning from discussions is the best thing about this. I remember when I take my course of in ISO 19650, I didn't learn only from this material that they give us or from reading the standards. I learned from discussions with the instructor and with my colleagues. We were trying to see these standards and reflect them back to our project's issues, and how can these standards can resolve our or find solutions for our issues. And I found that the ones who created these standards are smart, because it seems like they face the same issues and they put these standards to resolve issues or to unify the way of thinking that reduce the problems or quality issues. So always look to see who take these certificates and ask them questions, and from these questions you can decide which one is the best.
I agree with you. So it's more about the peer learning, or the learning on site or your in office is more efficient, I believe, than getting online certificate for the sake of certificate.
Yeah. Also, I understand sometimes some like fresh graduate, they don't have the ability to learn from offices. For example, they didn't have job yet. So I understand that, but as I told you, if they find some courses that engage them with people who are also work on site, that they will learn from them. So this is a good way to share knowledge.
So, Ammar, my last question. I promise you this is very much last.
No worries.
So, I saw a lot of the barriers, means in the BIM adaptation. I went through a lot of the research papers and gain a lot of the barriers, indicators from there. I would like to listen about your experience. What was the key barriers you have faced in your professional careers while you was adopting the BIM, or while you was doing the BIM sort of things in your job?
Yeah, of course. When you talk about BIM or digital technologies, of course, there are barriers. Sometimes people saw us on social media that we are talking about digital technologies, but they don't know that there were a lot of barriers that we resolved them. So starting from my first time implementing BIM, I remember that like first the knowledge was not easy to and the skills you cannot easily find courses online, or you can find books like the book that you have, because these books were very heavy and a lot of pages, so it's not easy to find information there, especially with the too many tools that were available. So the knowledge it was a big issue. Now it is more easy to find the information that you need, or you want a specific idea, so you can ask these AI tools to find you this idea in this box. And of course, you can see a variety of options of courses, and you can review them. So that was a barrier that we resolved. Another barrier is the resistance, actually, because when you're talking about implementing new thing in organizations in AAC industry, so they used to deliver their projects without these technologies. So they see this as only something that like added cost, or something that will waste their time, or something only for just visualization. So some senior experts, they think they have this thinking, though they resist, and they don't give you the full permissions to do whatever you want to implement. So that was a very big problem. How do we overcome this barrier? Actually, it was by gradually also implementing, not implementing everything. So it was like starting with one project, show the results, and then go to to prove that these results were showing good added value to the project. So later on, we can implement it in a wider project. That was one technique. The other technique is sometimes we couldn't like implement every technology that we need, especially when you're talking about reality captures, when you're laser scanning. These technologies always not easy to be used, or it needs like high cost, or it needs special platforms and hardware. So in that case, actually, what happened is the market, when the market has these giga projects, the digital experts used to implement these technologies there, and the other organizations, small organizations, medium organizations, I'm talking about offices, contractors, whatever suppliers, they learned from that project. They can see that these technologies were implemented in somewhere, and they can see how it is effective, or how it is amazing to use these technologies. So that was like it gave awareness level to the other organizations. So the resistance now, I believe it becomes less nowadays. That's what I'm thinking about when you're talking about the resistance. So this is another barrier. When we talk about other barriers, of course, using cloud resolved a lot of barriers when we were using when we were internal servers. This is what's come to my mind about barriers. I think there are more, but this is what comes to my mind.
Yes, I completely agree with one of your key. So thank you very much, Ammar, for joining us today on BIM Beyond Borders channel, and I hope that our viewers will enjoy this episode, and they will be getting the benefit with your experience and expertise. I would like to mention here that this episode, or this initiative, is very much non-profitable, non-political. We are here only to share our practical knowledge. The industry experts like Ammar is joining us here without any profitable business. We are here enjoying our conversation, and thank you very much, Ammar.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the discussion with you, and I hope we benefit the audience. Thank you very much.
Inshallah. This is the wrap of our BIM Beyond Borders technical discussion today with Ammar Saud. If you love this podcast, just subscribe and help us to grow, and let us spread the knowledge. Thank you very much.